next job is rear light. Now I want to do the rear light because it's going to be mounted on some point, so there'll be holes drilled in. I want to make sure that they don't interfere with the electrics, and then when I do drill holes in it, when it goes for powder coating, all the holes are already done. I don't want to be drilling after powder coating and potentially damaging it. So under tray, so what I've done is I've marked a piece of card so that's the right size, same as the under tray. Mark that on a piece of Quaker Oats box this time, no chocolate cake, although other brands of oats are available. So the rear light, £9 off eBay, number plate lighting, came with a number plate bracket which I might actually use, but more by good luck than good planning, that is exactly the same curve as the inside of the hoop. So I've got to make a bracket that holds the light under there like that, but also will make some provision for indicators. Template's cut out, and the idea is that that goes over the light like that, and then that curves back so it sits like that. I'll blank in the ends, and then the indicators can bolt onto the end. What I've realised is, as that is curved, they're going to want to be squared off, so I'll get a nice tight fit to the underside of the tray. So blank them off, drill, and I will be able to get a spanner in there to nip the nuts, and the bolts from the light will screw into there, so you won't see any of that once it's all blanked up. I've marked down there, but like I was saying there, as you can see, when that's over like that, they probably should be square. So I've squared that off. I'll cut that out, I'll bend that, and I'm going to bend it around this, which should give me enough space to get a spanner in. This hangs down very slightly out of square, so the light is just tilted a bit more level. You're seeing a bit, if it was at 90, it was a little bit too much like that, so I wanted it more like that. You don't see too much of the white. So what I've got to do now is that'll sit flat on the under tray, so I need to cut this excess off so it's nice and flat. The bracket now made fit, and it fits quite nicely. That, obviously the back light, but like I said before, got this for the number plate, so when you see that on there, that is the size of the back light. That looks a bit crap. It sticks out a bit, but what I was working on was for a UK MOT, your backlights, back indicators are supposed to be 180mm apart, and a standard British number plate is 230. So you can imagine your indicators, and I'm thinking the indicators are going to be behind at 180 behind the number plate, but they're not, because obviously the number plate is below. Even with a small number plate, it would be, I thought they're going to be behind it, but they're not, because obviously the indicators are going to be there. Number plate, doesn't matter how big it is, the indicators will still be there. So to make this a bit neater, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut this down so it is just the width of the back light, and then which is 100mm, and then the indicators I'm looking at using are 40 long, so that is 180. and at that point on the hoop is 180, so the indicators will just sit nicely underneath the frame hoop. So I'm going to now cut that down. So I have marked all that up, ready for drilling. It looks pretty good, and I spent quite a lot of time checking on the bike that it was going to sit square at 90 degrees to the frame rails. So I marked the under tray with a line right down the centre, and then marked that line at 90 degrees. I then clamped it on sort of blind, got it what looked right, and marked the sides, and it came out in the same position. So I'm fairly confident that that is at 90 degrees to the frame rails. So I'll drill this and then clamp it back on there and drill through, and then when all that gets powder coated it will have holes on. That's all cleaned up and drilled, holes all smoothed off. The light fits in there quite nicely. I'll probably shorten these off a little bit, don't need to be that long, and that will go up. So put some nice button-headed screws and they'll fasten that in, and then indicators on there. I've also drilled the mounting points and the hole where the cable will come up. I'll get a rubber grommet for there, so that will come up like that. But all the cable will come up through there like that, and then as you can see, when that's on, all the cable's hidden inside once it's straight as well. You also got that came with it, like mounting thing, so that will obviously, I could just put that in place and have a number plate holder. I could make a new one of them out of alloy, but it is black and powder coated, and that looks pretty good. Really, really nice to have it shaped, but there's just no way to have the indicators in the right place. Maybe if I'd have made it flat. So that is another job done. As you've just seen, I have finished this, and I'm quite happy with it. It's come out quite nice, but I'm wondering whether I should have curved it, so I'm going to make another one. Here is the video. I'm not going to talk through it, I'll just whiz through. It's basically the same process. Here we go. So I've got to bend the bracket like I did last time, but this time, in the last day, these have turned up. And this is a bender that goes in the vise, and you clamp it up and it bends it like that. You can do box bends because they've got splits in. Magnets on the back so it stays in the vise. These are normally, I think it's like called an Axminster bender, vice bender or something like that, and they're about 60 quid, but I found one online for £20 and I thought it's going to be better than battering it with a hammer. So if anybody's interested, I'll put a link and you can get it. So you put the sharp bit on the line and then just wind it in. Now this wants to be, as we've established, 110 degrees, not 80 degrees. And that's put in a nice bend. I think if it was a little bit thinner it would work better, but definitely better than bashing it with a hammer. So you can see, control the bend. Right, here it is. Needs a couple of little bits of weld or a bit of filling where I've welded the case together. Could have possibly made it a bit skinnier. I'll probably end up making another one. I do prefer the curve on this one where the indicators are. I don't think I could make that curve and that curve as well and make it look right. I'd have to sort of curve off like that. Anyway, I'll mount up the light and the indicators, which have now turned up, and I'll put it onto the back of the bike and leave a comment, say which one you prefer. What did you think? I think the second one, I do like it better. I think it just tucks up nice. Number plate bracket would obviously just bolt behind there, so I can have the number plate like bracket on there. Yeah, get all that painted black. It looked pretty good. A little bit fiddly getting it on, but it would be easier once everything's fastened together. Everything's loose at the moment, but as you can see, light in first and then light in first, then indicators, and then I'll put a grommet, I'll put a rubber grommet where it goes through the metal there and a rubber grommet on the tray. But that's come out quite nice, quite happy with that. I don't think there's much else that needs doing on the bike while it's complete. So the next step will be stripping it down to the frame and getting the welding done. I think that's what I'll be doing next time. Update on the petrol tank, don't ask at the moment. It's a bit of a touchy subject. I may put an update on this video. It may just wait till next time. Okay, so if you're enjoying the build anyway, please like, subscribe and press the notifications bell. I'm getting very close to 1,000 subscribers, so it'd be nice to get over 1,000, and I will try and work a bit faster, as someone asked.